Hey everybody on the Pro Forum. Okay, let's talk about one of the things that has been asked of me to talk about on these little videos was mentors, people who have influenced me and gotten me to the position I am in today. Off the bat, in the photography world, I mean, who hasn't been influenced by Monty Zucker, Rocky Gunn, people like this, Bruce Hudson. In the portrait world, again, I'll mention Bruce Hudson. Some of his techniques, some of his marketing styles, some of the things that Bruce Hudson has done as far as, photography tricks and things of this sort, I've kind of adopted into the way I do what I do. The influence as far as high school senior portraits, I will tell you a little story that way back in the day, back when I was a high school senior and I went to have my high school senior portraits, I showed up wearing a suit. I had a suit on, and I also had a couple of pairs of clothes. This was in 1980. And I walked into the photographer, and he goes, "Hey, you know what we should do?" I said, "What?" "What we should do is we should do some pictures in your suit. What do you think?" And I kind of shifted my eyes back and forth like that and thought, isn't that what everybody does? Well, apparently in 1980, no. That is not what everybody did. So what I did was, he said, so after I took pictures, couple of 3 shots in the suit I was wearing, he said, "Well, what about those clothes? What are you doing with that?" I said, "Well, that's just another outfit I brought." "Well, put them blue jeans on and put that shirt on and let's take a few in that. And then we'll do the cap and gown and then we'll do the tuxedo." And so as a result, I ended up with like 4 different outfits. Well, apparently, like I said, in 1980, this was not something you did, but it's what I wanted as a high school senior. So later that year, when I did some of my friends who I had access to a studio and I had access to all kinds of camera gear because I was working at a camera store and we had our own little studio there. So I did some high school seniors. What I did was what I wanted done to me. I'd had multiple outfits. We did some outside by the bayou. We did all kinds of different little tricks and things of this sort. Well, apparently, like I said, that just was not being done in 1980. So as influence, I don't know that anyone influenced me. Later, I found out that there were, people like Larry Peters and others like that out there that were doing this who have been accredited with inventing it. And I really think that maybe, afterwards, a lot of the influence as far as high school senior portraits came because of what Larry Peters was doing. So I'll mention him also as a bit of an influence. I did go to that a Bruce Hudson class with Fuzzy Dunkel, and I just loved some of the crazy things Fuzzy was doing. So precise. He had this cool little tilt thing he would do with his camera, the subjects were all angled, and that influenced me. And so I started doing some things like that. So through the years, I've been influenced from multiple different directions, and I've always said that what we need to do is we need to take all that direction, take all that influence, take all that information, take it in, but let it all come out as our own idea. And that really and truly is what I feel like I did over the years is I let all these different individuals, I would go to just about every PPA convention there was. I remember the very first PPA convention I went to, I was just blown away that people could take images that looked that perfect. It almost depressed me, to be honest with you. The very first ever PPA convention that I actually went to, I didn't go to. I don't know if you ever heard this story. It was in Orlando. I ended up being so intimidated by the fact that there were professional photographers there. I didn't even go in. I ended up going to Disney World with my family. I literally went there to go to the convention, but then never attended the convention. So, it's just fascinating to me when it comes to what we do, that it's all of us have an intimidation factor, and I had it too. So I can appreciate why sometimes people are intimidated by Pro Forum and intimidated by the people that they see, and they think, well, there's no way I could ever be that good. But you can. You have the ability to be just as good as everybody else. So don't I understand it, but don't let that bother you. Let it influence you. Let it make you better. Take all this stuff in and use it in such a way that it makes you better. That's the message for the day. Talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye.